We are going to go through the 8 hands that you've tackled tonight. These are hands that I supplied, so I hope you found them interesting and challenging. And I do wish some of you that are watching now would take part in the tournament because, believe me, there's no substitute for experience. Trying it at the table is a lot different from trying it with me here now when you can see all 4 hands. So do give it a try. Nobody will think you can't. I don't want to make a fool of myself. You won't make a fool of yourself. They are challenging. They're meant to be. But if you see the problems, then that's halfway towards solving them. Believe me. Yeah, absolutely, Bob. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, the very first hand that you played tonight is on your screen. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please send them by chat to the table, and I will let everybody will see what the question is or what the comment is, and I will do my best to answer them. Alan is not with us at the moment. He may join us later. I think he's playing with Kathy in a different event. But yeah, you're a lovely group. You absolutely are. I love the lot of you. Yes, yeah. You've all become great friends. I know most of you by name, at least. I've never met most of you, but I do know you, and I know the sort of players that you are. And I can look at it and say, yeah, he'll get it right, or no, I don't think she will, or whatever, you know. But you learn by doing. Bob is absolutely right. So please, next week, I mean, Alan will be looking after you next week, but give it a try. There's no bidding problems. You don't need to know how to bid. You're told what the contract is. Make the effort. Sit yourself down. If you haven't got a partner, join the partnership desk. It doesn't matter. It's a challenge as to how you play the hands. And then when you watch it afterwards, at the table, you'll think, I should have got that right. I can see it now. I've given you, I think, before my definition of a bridge technician. And my definition of a bridge technician is a player who knows exactly what to do 10 seconds after he's done something different. So believe me, that's very true. We can always see things just a few seconds later. You think, no, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, it's too late, of course. Anyway, here's the first of the hands that we've got tonight. And straightforward sequence. North opens 2 no trumps and South bids 3 no trumps. I won't go through the auction, but I'll just bid 3 no trumps. How many made this Sanya, do we know? Does anybody know? That's a very good way of putting it, Robert. Yes, I agree. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 2 people made it, says Mickey. That's out of 5 tables, I think. Okay, let's see. We get the lead of the Queen of Spades, which is a fairly routine sort of lead. Queen Jack 10 9. And now, let's have a look at our tricks. We've got 2 spades and 2 hearts is 4, and 2 clubs is 6. So we're not going to make an extra club. We might make an extra heart if they're 3-3, although the odds are against it. But the chances, our best chance is surely with the diamond suit. And the routine way to tackle the diamonds, because we've got no other entry to dummy, is to duck a diamond. And if they're 3-2, then we'll duck one, give them one, and we'll make the other 4. That's what we would ordinarily do. So let's see how that works. That's our initial plan. So we duck the first one. The spade comes back. And, well, it can't do any harm to duck the spade, because we're going to lose it anyway. There's nowhere for it to go. And here's the thing. When they play a 3rd spade, now we know that the spades were 3-3 and we've only got 1 spade loser. So just in case the diamonds are 4-1, we can afford now to duck another one. All they can cash is a spade. And we'll have protected ourselves just in case the diamonds were 4-1. So we don't take this one, we duck this one as well. And we're lucky we did. East now cashes his spade. Well, we can throw a club on that. And you throw a club, and we can throw, well, throw a heart at the moment. Maybe a squeeze developed, we don't know. But now he's got to play something else. Well, club or heart? Let's say club. Now we'll cash our diamonds. And we've got two more diamonds to cash, on which we are going to throw the heart loser and the club loser. And we can claim our ninth trick. So this was a case of, starting off, we're going to dock a diamond because that's the right thing to do. But once we discover that the spades were 4-3, not 5-2, if they'd been 5-2, then we couldn't afford to duck the diamonds again. We'd have to have hoped that they were 3-2. But once the spades were 4-3, we can afford to duck a second one. Board 2, one table made 11 tricks and one made 10, and the rest went down. Well, we'll come to board 2 in a moment. Yes, Makiko, what can I say for that? What's your question, darling? I can't hear you. You can either type it or you can unmute yourself. Well, you could duck the first spade and then duck a diamond. They'll take the second one, you duck the diamond, and he'll play a third one. You'll discover the same thing. But you don't need to duck the spade to start with, because you're not going to be taking any finesses, and the diamond that you duck could just as easily be won by East. Right, let's mute everybody on mute all. There we go. Right, so we've muted everybody now. Okay. Would I play the same way at match points? Yes, I would. When the spades are 3-3, I can afford it. I'm going to go down if I don't. And, it's okay. Well, if the diamonds are 3-2, then you're ducking the second one and you'll give a trick away. It's debatable, that, isn't it, Bob? Yeah, debatable. I'm not sure. But these hands very definitely are imp-based. We're playing teams. We're trying to make the contract or break it if we're defending. Okay. Everyone in the same contract, yeah. At pairs, we've had this discussion before, I think, but when you're playing match points, one of the questions that you should be asking yourself when dummy goes down, am I in a popular contract? Is everybody going to be in the same contract as me? And if you look at it and you say, no, everyone's going to be in 4 spades and they're going to make 10 tricks, and here's me in 3 no trumps when I've only got 9, now you've got to take a risk to make 10 because otherwise you're going to get a bad score. So whether you're in a good contract or a popular contract makes a big difference at match points. The teams makes a little difference. An over trick or one extra trick doesn't make a lot of difference. The teams winning probably. Do we have any more questions on board or comments on board 1? At match points, well, yeah, some people will not even be aware of the safety play, Terry. I mean, I think they'll be savvy enough to duck 1 diamond, but whether they will consider even ducking the second one is somewhat debatable. If they're playing imps, then they definitely should duck the second one because it guarantees the contract. Yeah, ducking twice, but only after you discover the spades are 4-3. Okay, we'll move on to board 2. And I can find board 2. See it somewhere. Board 2, here we go. The deal to the table. and no opposition bidding. East is going to finish in the contract of 4 hearts. I won't apologise for the bidding on these hands. I know it's ancient. I've had these hands a long time. We do our best to give you hands that you haven't seen before. You may have seen these before. I'm not sure, to be honest. But I take the view that the play is the thing. This is why you're here, to learn how to play the cards. I'm no expert in 2 over 1 or SAYC anyway. So we just accept that, you know, you're in 4 hearts and you've got to try and make it. If the opposition bid, then you will be told. So you won't keep anything secret from you. Okay, 4 hearts by East is the contract. How many made this one, Sonia? Do we know? We've been doing it for a few years now, Monique. We're running out of hands. Everybody made this one. Really? No, Wackerjack didn't make it because I was watching him. Uh, 2 made, 3 went down. Thank you very much, Ratner. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Sanya. Sanya's given the Zoom link again for anybody that hasn't got it and wants to join us. Okay. Okay, 4 hearts, we get the lead of the King of Diamonds. As always, let's count our tricks. We've got 6 heart tricks. We've got 2 club tricks is 8, and the Ace of Diamonds is 9. Now, well, I dare say it, the obvious 75 or 76, I think, percentage play would be to play for South to hold one of the spade honours, the Ace or King, and then leading twice towards the Queen Jack will give us a spade trick, and that will be our 10th trick, and I think that's the line that Jack took. But is there a better line? Well, yes, there is. But it depends upon the trumps not breaking 4-0. Right, so as long as the trumps aren't 4-0, we have a better line. And that better line is to set up the clubs. Now we can go from one line to the other. We can start off trying to set up the clubs. And if we then discover that the hearts are 4-0 after all, we can revert to trying the spades, leading the spades twice towards the Queen Jack in dummy. But if they're not 4-0, then we will try to set up the clubs. And that's going to be our line. So, okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to win the diamond. And we're going to cash 2 clubs. Be very unlucky if one of those gets roughed. Now we're going to cross the dummy with a trump. And there we are, we're lucky. They have not broken 4-0. So we can continue with our plan. Rough it high, we don't want to be over roughed. What's South going to throw? Well, he can afford to throw a diamond, he's not going to make more than a diamond check. Another half to dummy. And another club roughed high. Now, another heart to dummy, draws the outstanding trump, and we have the Jack of Clubs on which we can throw one of our losers away. Made 9 tricks, and we've already still got the Jack of Hearts, and that will be our 10th trick. So, just possible that we may be able to end play north, and he'll have to give us another spade trick, but that's incidental. What we did was to try and make sure we make 10 tricks, irrespective of who had the Ace and King of Spades. Felt sorry for Jack because he gave himself what was a quite good line, but on this occasion it didn't work. we will claim 2 more tricks. Claim 1 more trick rather. Okay, I'm not sure if I claimed the first one. Did I claim the first one? Yes, I did. Okay. Do we have any comments or questions on board 2? One play would probably played it that way, Eddie, I should imagine, yes. Well, the clubs could be 5-1, but that's a worse chance than that's a worse chance than both spades being offside. So that line is still preferred. Clubs breaking 5-1 or 6-0 is going to happen a lot less often than North having both the top spades. If North kept a diamond, no, then you just make 10. We've made 10 tricks. What we're making is 6 heart tricks, 1 diamond is 7, and 3 clubs because we set one up by ruffing them twice. So it wouldn't be 1 down, it would just be making if North has. But to do that, he's got to throw a spade away, and if Defero then ducks a spade, he's got to do that quite early. But always 10 tricks if we follow that line and the clubs are not 5-1 or worse. So that is an improvement on playing South to have 1 of the honours in spades. That's round about the 76% mark. I'm not sure what the 5-1 break and worse in clubs is, but it's less than 10%, I'm sure. Jack's going to see if we got it right. Okay, Jack, you tell me what the answer is. 5-1 club break or 6-0 club break is. And the 2 combined will be less than 10%, I'm sure. Do we have any other comments on board 2, please? Okay, Jack's going to check the odds. We'll move on to board 3 when I can find board 3. So, there we go. Now, we get the lead of Queen of Clubs. And let's count our tricks. Well, we've got 1 spade loser. That means we've got 6 spade tricks. The Ace of Hearts is 7. Ace King of Clubs is 9. And nothing in diamonds. So, well, the half finesse could work. That's one possibility, of course. And we could possibly set the clubs up if we had the entries to get to them. So, now, the dangerous bit is if East happens to have a singleton club. Because what can happen is that we win with the king, we give them their ace of spades, he puts his partner in with a diamond and gets a club rough. That's not very handy if he roughs our ace of clubs out. But if he tries to do that, do we have any way of doing it? 3 made some over tricks, 2 failed. Okay, thanks, Sanya. Okay, but that's going to be online. I'm a little bit afraid that might be from a 4-card suit. Okay, I don't really know. 9, I don't mind that. But, let's hope that it's his partner who's got the ace of spades. Indeed it is. And now he's got to try and put his partner in, and there's only 1 suit he can put him in with, and that's a diamond. So he's putting his partner in with a diamond. And as predicted, his partner led the clubs. Now let's see what happens. If we play the ace of clubs, he will rough it. And we just won't be able to make enough tricks. We're still going to have to let the half finesse, and if it's wrong, and it is wrong, then we'll go down. So we can't afford to have that ace of clubs roughed. But if we don't cover the jack, then he will win. Well, he can't play another one, because if he does play another one, I can rough it in my hand. But on the other hand, the they will have made 3 tricks and now he'll switch to a heart. Can I do anything about that? Well, there's only one trump out, so in fact, I can get the dummy if I want to with spade 2. Yes, well done, Ratner. As long as I don't use it in before, I can use the 5 or the 6 of spades as an entry and still set the clubs up. So anyway, I've decided that it's not going to be good for me to put the ace of clubs up. Don't mind losing the club. No, he's not going to rough that now, doesn't he? So he tries to switch to a heart for his partner. And there's no point in Declara playing another club. That will set Western playing another club. That will set up Donny's clubs, and I would be roughing it in hand anyway, regardless of what partner did. So he does what partner has suggested. Now we're going to take the ace of hearts, and we're going to rough a club. No point in him roughing it. He knows he's going to be over roughed. Going to rough this with anything except the 2. Notice now that the club suit in dummy is good. We're going to draw the outstanding trump. And with our well carefully preserved 2 of spades, we're going to cross the dummy. And our 2 heart losers will disappear on the clubs. And we claim the rest of the tricks. So it needed quite a little bit of thinking. We needed to recognise the fact that the opposition definitely could be looking for a club rough. We couldn't afford to have them roughing that ace away, then we're going down if the heart finesse doesn't work. But they can't do both. They can't try to give partner a rough and stop us setting the club suits up if we don't cover it. Yeah, 84% against your 76. Yeah. Nobody got it with this line. I know I watched a couple of tables right now, but this is the right line, if I may put it like that. I know that some people misdefended. Some people didn't even try to get the club rough. They won the ace of spades and the diamond back or something like that, or played another spade. And I think that's what happened. I watched Vilnius play it. They didn't attempt to get the rough, and then it was easy. Do we have any other comments or questions on board 3? You were aiming for a heart rough. Well, there's a problem with that, Monique, that if you were roughing a heart, where's the other trick coming? You've got to lose a heart, you've got to lose a diamond, you've got to lose a spade, and in the meantime, they mustn't be roughing a club. If you tried that and you got away with it, well done. I think the opposition must have cooperated a little bit if you did. Okay, any other questions or comments on board 3? What do you think of them so far? Right, we'll move on to board 4, he says, if we can find board 4. I think this is a tricky one. I think it's probably, yes, it is instinctive, but you need to think about it right now. That's exactly the point. You know, it's one of these questions that the good players ask themselves, what can go wrong? And what can go wrong is that each could have a singleton club. And now the next question, if he has got a singleton club, can I do anything about it? And it didn't matter if he was following to the second club, because now you can set the clubs up easily anyway. You'd have given him a club trick that you didn't need to, but your contract was going to be safe. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, here's board 4. And again, no opposition bidding. And West is going to play the Z4 spades. So we'll just bid 4 spades for West. I think this is the most difficult one. I watched V play this, and she made the contract, but the opposition had 2 chances of defeating her and didn't take either of them. The lead, we were told, was the 2 of spades. We have to cross the first hurdle, pass the first hurdle by not winning this with the 6. But we need to think about what we're doing. What are we looking at? We've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 6 spade tricks. We've got 2 club tricks is 8, and we've got the ace of diamonds is 9. Now, on this particular hand, we've got 2 strings to our bow, if I can put it like that. This is more in the technique of the Morton's fork that you've heard me talk about so often. You give the opposition the choice of this or this, and neither of them work. Yeah, Sandy loves the story of Morton's fork. Morton was what was in the olden days what would be the equivalent would be the Chancellor of the Exchequer today, and he had a philosophy: if you were rich, you could afford to pay your taxes. And if you were poor, that was because you saved all your money, so you must be able to pay your taxes. That was the essence of Morton's fork. Whatever you did, you had to pay your taxes. It didn't matter whether you had the money or not. The argument was you must have the money one way or another, either because you got it or because you must have saved it because that's why you're poor. Anyway, what's the Morton's fork situation here? Well, what chances have we got? We can try to ruff a heart in dummy, but they've already led a spade, and if we play hearts, if the opposition are awake, they'll win the heart, and they'll play another spade, and when they've seen the second heart, they'll play yet another spade, and we won't get our heart ruff. So the opposition have a defence to us trying to ruff a heart. So we need an alternative, one that they've either got to give us one or the other. And the alternative on this particular hand is setting the clubs up. Now, as long as we think about that, now we need entries to dummy. We can cash the ace of clubs, but we would need to ruff clubs twice. And that means we need 3 entries to dummy. 2 to set the clubs up and another one to get back to cash the last one. Have we got 3 entries in dummy? We've got the ace of diamonds, the king of spades. Have we got another one? Not really, unless they give us one. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep the 6 of spades because it's the only one spade we've got that is lower than the 7. We haven't lost sight of the fact that North led us little spade and South apparently could not play anything higher than the 4. So we'll win with the 8. And now we're going to cash the ace of clubs first. And now we're going to play a heart. North can win this. Now, what's he going to do? If he doesn't play a trump, declare can ruff a heart in dummy. That will be his 10th trick. But if he does play a trump, the 7 of spades will become an entry. And if South can actually cover the 7 of spades, after all, then the spades will have broken and we can get our heart ruff. So whatever North does, whether he tries to stop the heart ruff or whether he tries to stop us setting up the clubs, he can't do both. So if he plays a trump, we will put the 7 in. If that is covered by South, then we will win. And now the spades will have broken 2-2, and there will always be a trump in dummy to ruff a heart. Can't go down. But when South discards, Now, what a good job we kept the 6. Now we can ruff a club. And go over to the Jack of Spades, drawing the last trump. And ruff another club. And we've still got a diamond, on which we can now cash 2 clubs. And we've still got the Ace of Spades, and that will be our 10th trick. So we're going to claim our 10 tricks. Setting up the clubs, well, it just happens to be clubs. We could have swapped the clubs and the diamonds over, Terry. It doesn't matter. But the point is, we had 2 lines of play. One was to ruff a heart, if the spades were 2-2. Could have stopped us ruffing a heart, whether they tried it or not. But if they tried to stop us ruffing hearts and the spades were 3-1, then they give us the second, the extra entry in W with the 7. Doesn't matter if he leaves the 9, we win that with the king, and now the 6 will still be an entry to the 7. But we needed to be aware of the possibility that setting up the clubs, and indeed the theme of these hands today is all been about suit establishment. It won't always be clubs, but it's been about establishing suits one way or another. Okay, do we have any other questions or comments on board 4? Okay, I'll turn the page over, he says, and we'll move on to board 5. Actual play at some point in the past. Not necessarily me, but replaying them, but in some cases, yes. And sometimes somebody says to me, I thought I should have made this, and I look at it and I say, yes, you could have, whatever. But most of them came from play. They weren't constructed. But this was one spade from north, pass from east. How many players would actually bid 3 diamonds? Because that's the auction that happened at the table. For me, that would be promising a 6-card suit. And I have an agreement with most of my regular partners that I never jump in a new suit unless I've got at least 2 spades, to a partner's suit. So it wouldn't matter if I've got ace, king, queen to 7. If I've only got a single spade, I will not be jumping to 3 diamonds. I can catch up later. But that's my style. What would we bid instead? Yeah, we don't need to waste space. 3 diamonds, I think we show at least a 6-card suit. But you can get 2 diamonds and wait and see what partner does next. But anyway, 3 diamonds is what was bid at the time. That didn't impress North much at all. He bid 3 spades, and I really don't like diamonds much partner. I'm not that interested in the slam. And South says, well, okay, how good are your spades? Are they good enough? Because I've got a really nice hand here. And that's the bidding that happened at the table. Okay. And we get the lead of the king of clubs. Preemptive jump shift have become, I know some people play them, Bob, I'm not a fan, I must confess. For me, 1 spade, 3 diamonds as a preemptive bid rather ignores the fact that the partner's bid can be very wide-ranging and what is partner to do. So I don't like them, but whoever plays them, then okay. What's the danger here? We've got looks like we've got 6 spades and 2 hearts is 8, and the club is 9, and 3 diamonds is 12. Without breaking into a sweat, we're going to make 12 tricks, unless the big unless the spades are 4 and 1 or worse. So we've got a club loser, yes, we live with the club loser, but the spade loser, we can't afford a club and a spade. So the problem here is that the spades could be 4-1. That's really a very unlucky if they're 5-0. Okay. What are we going to do? Well, we can throw 2 clubs away on diamonds, but we've still got a third club to get rid of if we have a spade loser. If we don't have a spade loser, then there's no problem really. So what we want to do, we want to find out whether the trumps are 4-1 or not as quickly as possible, but we want to do it in a way that we can cope with it if there is. All right? So what we're going to do, we're going to win the ace of clubs, cash the king of diamonds, and now we're going to play 2 rounds of spades, finishing in dummy, because then we'll know if the spades break, we can cross back to the ace of hearts and draw the last drop. But they don't. We're in the right hand when we learn about it. And what we're going to do now is going to cash 2 diamonds. Now we're going to play a 3rd diamond. And it won't help Wester off, we'll just throw our club away. So let's say he throws a club away, or a heart. Let's say he throws a heart away. So we rough that. And now we play the king of hearts. And the ace of hearts. And now we're going to play our good diamond, and whether he roughs it or not, we're going to throw our jack of clubs away. If he discards a club, say, we're going to throw our club away, and all we're going to lose now is 1 spade trick. So the secret of this hand, if he doesn't do that, if he does rough it, same thing. We're still going to throw the club away, and now we've got 3 more tricks. So we can claim our contract. We found out whether the spades will break in badly or not. If they both follow to the 2nd spade, we'll go back to hand with the king of hearts and draw the other trump, and we'll just give them the club. No problem. But once we find out, we need to set up the diamond. Well, 5-2 diamond break doesn't matter. Does it matter? I think if you did you assume, Ratner, that the spades were going to be 4-1? I think you need to play 2 rounds just in case they are 3-2. I know a lot of people look at these. This is only a problem if they're 4-1. So I'll assume that they're 4-1. I know Pat has used that technique a few times. This is only a problem if the halfness doesn't work, so I won't take it. Well, you thought to duck the first club. That means you must have assumed, Terry, that that you weren't going to have a spade loser. Whereas you should be thinking the other way round. There's only contract only in danger if I have a spade loser. If you duck the first club, then if you've got a spade loser, you're down. So exactly, Monique. Yes, ending in dummy so that you're in the right hand to continue with the diamonds. If the spades broke, then we can cross back to hand with the king of hearts and draw the other one. But when they don't break, we're in the right hand to carry on with the diamonds. Yeah, we need the diamonds to be 4-3, not 5-2, because if we're not here, we're off the 3rd diamond, and we still won't be able to set up the last one. But 4-3 is the most likely break. I'm sure Jack will give us the percentage if we need to. But I don't deal myself in actual percentages. I know Alan does. I deal in relative percentages. And just for interest's sake, we can tell you that if you're missing an odd number of cards, they will break as evenly as possible more often than not. That's the most likely break. If you're missing an even number of cards, they will break as evenly as possible, but not evenly. So missing 6, they'll break 4-2, not 3-3, more often than anything else. If you're missing 8, they'll break 5-3 rather than 4-4, and so on. Okay. 31%. Thank you, Monique. Okay, do we have any other questions or comments on board 5? Quite a tricky one, but one I think most of you are capable of doing. I'm not sure how many people got it right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we will go on to board 6. Now, once we've got a competitive auction, so we will give you the auction. 1 heart, 1 spade overcall, pass, 4 hearts, why not? And north is 4 spades. I don't think most people are going to do that. I think that might well be the auction today. But, and we get the lead of club. Now that is almost certainly a singleton, not leading partner suit when you don't have any values in the suit. That looks like a singleton club to me. But what have we got? We've got 5 spade tricks, no heart tricks, 2 club tricks is 7, and the diamond is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 2 more tricks somewhere. So the obvious thing is to try and set the clubs up. Can we set the clubs up if that's a singleton? And have we got the entries to do it? Well, this is what I would think. I think we need to win this first one, that is for sure. But it looks like, because I've got the 2 myself, it's not the top of the doubleton. It's looking, why would he leave 3 to the 9 or 3 to the jack? Okay. Well, if the diamonds split, you can rough, but we've already assumed that that club is a singleton. And that means right-hand opponent has got at least 5 hearts and at least 4 clubs, well, exactly 4 clubs. So that's 9 cards, and the chances of the diamonds breaking are not high. So we can see, can we do anything other with it? Well, what entries do we need? We've got a club entry, and that will let us rough a club. And we have a jack of spades as an entry, and that would let us rough another club. Right, so I think the answer is we're going to play a club at trick 2. Sorry, no we're not. Undo. We're going to play a trumpet at trick 2. I'm going to head this out. We're going to cash 2 top trumps. And of course I don't know how the trumps are breaking. I don't know who's got the 3rd one. West could easily still have the 9 left. But I'm going to play a club now. If he roughs, he's roughing a loser. Right? So when he doesn't rough, let's say he throws a heart. Now I can rough a club high, just in case he's still got the 9 of spades. I don't know for sure, but now I'm going to draw that trump. And rough another club. And lo and behold, I've taken 7 tricks, and I've got the ace of diamonds and 2 good clubs in dummy. So all I need to do now is play a diamond to the ace, and cash my 2 clubs. Sorry, and the opposition will make the rest. We're not going to make any more, but we've made our 10 tricks. So it's just a question of working that out before we did it. Because that's the secret. Yeah, it doesn't look so obvious, but it is obvious once you think about it. If you think about it, now if he's going to ruff a second club, well, let him ruff a loser. I'm not going to try and cash the king up because he would ruff that. I'm going to come back and draw 2 trumps and then I'll play a club. If he ruffs that, he's ruffing a loser. I don't mind. When he doesn't, now I can ruff one myself and cross back to dummy with the jack of spades, picking up the last trump, whoever's got it, and then ruff another one with my remaining spade, and I've generated my 10 tricks. How many got that one right, Sonia? One. Oh, you're just saying there's only one person played it properly, you were telling me, Blue. Okay, yeah, well, good for saying. Yeah, well done, Zane. I'm impressed. The rest of you need to keep coming back. You need more lessons. Applause to Zane, exactly. Okay. Any more questions or comments? Nice to see you, Blue. I pity you couldn't take part. Maybe you'll be with us next time. Okay, no more questions or comments. We'll move on to board 7. 2 hearts from south, weak. Pass. Pass. 2 no trumps. I'm not sure it'd be everybody's choice with a single heart stop, but okay, that's what was happened at the table. The north sounds, west says, oh well, I'll be 3 then. I've got this really lovely diamond suit. And the lead fairly particularly is the king of hearts. Okay, let's count our tricks. We've got 2 spades, a heart is 3, 2 clubs is 5, so we need 4 diamond tricks. Not likely we'll make an extra trick in hearts, spades or clubs. Now, how are we going to tackle the diamonds? Do we duck the first heart? Well, I don't think so. We don't have a choice. We have to play north for the ace of diamonds because we need diamond tricks. So how is it going to help us to duck the heart? He's going to play a second one. If he's got the ace of diamonds, we're going off anyway. So won't help us to duck. The other suits we can control. We've got 2 controls in clubs and 2 controls in spades. And it looks like diamonds is the suit for us to tackle. So we know that north has only got 1 heart. So we'll take that and we'll play on diamonds. Now, which diamond do we play and how do we play them? Now the obvious thing to do is to play a diamond to the king and then come back to hand. If that wins and if it loses, then maybe probably the diamonds are good. Let's see what happens if we do that. If north is awake, north will say to himself, the clever's only got 1 diamond left. And if I duck this, then he won't be able to set up the tricks. He won't be able to set up the diamond suit. If I take it, then he can. He can play king, queen, and another diamond, and this king of spades will be an entry. So I'm going to duck the first one. And declare, I think, so, okay, maybe then south, no, south can't have the ace of diamonds, north must have it, south would have grabbed it. But you never know. Well, now he's lost. He can't set the suit up. Take this one now and switch to a black suit, and it doesn't matter whether it's clubs or spades, because there's 1 entry gone in, 1 control gone in clubs, probably clubs. But the declarer can't get home anymore because the diamond suit can't be set up. He's only got the 1 entry to dummy, and he needs 2. So let's go back a while. And if we see that coming, if we say to ourselves, what are we going to do if the diamonds are 4-1? Well, we don't mind losing a second diamond trick, provided we lose it to north. So what we will do, we will leave the 9, and if it's not covered, then we will duck it. Now north doesn't help him not to take this one, so he takes it, and switches to a club, say. And now a second diamond. And now north can't stop the diamonds being set up, and the king of spades is still there. So you needed to duck the first diamond. As long as you ducked it to north, then north can't stop you setting up the diamonds and getting to them with the king of spades. Had he have switched to a spade, of course, instead of a club, we would have won that in hand to preserve the entry with the king of spades. Yeah, exactly right, Annabelle. Had to run the 9 of diamonds. I'm sure you would have got that right. So it doesn't matter now whether north takes this one or not. He'll play another club, no doubt, but he'll play 3 tricks, and he's got 2 spades is 5, and 4 diamonds is 9. So he's making his 9 tricks. I'm not sure how many ran that. I watched Jack, and Jack played a diamond to the king, and Makiko ducked it, and that was the end of that. And any other questions or comments on board 7? Who made it this time, Blue? John? Dimitri. Okay, good for Dimitri. Well done. I tell you what, some of you players are improving. I notice it, and I know Alan's noticed it, that some things that you would have got wrong earlier, if you didn't duck the diamond Ratner, then yes, you misdefended. You should have seen the fact that the declarer can only have 1 diamond left, and there's only 1. And if you stop and think about it, by ducking the first one, if it went to an honour, if the declarer runs the 9, you can't do anything about it. But if he starts off by playing small to the king, queen, or jack, and by ducking that one, then you stop the suit being set up. One of those things that you need to think about. Nancy made it properly. Oh well, good for her. I think some of you players are really coming to grips with some of these things. Okay. Do we have any more questions or comments on board 7? You duck the first one. It's just a matter of thinking what's going to happen, Makiko. If, to me, I would say to myself, there's 13 diamonds in this pack, and I can see 10 of them, and declare by ducking the first one, he's presumably got a second one. If I take this first one, then he's going to have to give me the 10, but he'll have the communication to do it. I'll play a black suit, he'll win in hand, and he'll play 3 more rounds of diamonds, giving me my 10, but he'll still have an entry to dummy. Whereas if you duck the first one and take the second one, now he can't do that. He's got no way of playing diamonds again without using his king of spades, and you've still got them stopped. Does that make sense? Yeah, dummy's still got a spade entry, but you duck the first diamond and take the second one, so you've still got the 10x sitting behind the jack x or the queen x. So the suit is not set up, and the declarer doesn't have another diamond. So he can play a spade to dummy's king, he can cash the winning diamond, but you will still have the 10. Yes, you should. It doesn't matter whether, if declarer plays small to an honour, the king, queen, or jack, you should definitely duck. Because then you can stop him setting up the suit and running it. If you take the first one, he's still got a communication to dummy. when he wins a black suit, he'll play the other two top diamonds and the third one. That will set up the suit. He'll have lost two of them, but he doesn't mind that. The king of spades will still be there. No, if he plays the 9, if he runs the 9, then it doesn't help you to duck that, no. You win with the 10 and play. If Declarer plays to the 9, he's going to make his contract. If he runs the 9, that won't help you to duck that. You'll just be giving away a trick for nothing. You can win the 10, but you can't stop him setting the suit up. If you duck another one, he'll just keep playing them until you take it, and the king of spades will still be there. But the declarer's got to get that right to start with. The declarer's got to realise he can afford to lose two diamonds, but he's got to lose the first one. There's no good in him losing the third one and the second one. he won't have the communication anymore. Okay, any more? Anybody else? Any more comments? We'll go on to the last hand, board 8. Here it comes. How many made this one? Do we know? Or blue, do you know? Ducking with a purpose, that's a very good one. Made this one. Yes. Well, no opposition bidding, so we'll just put West into 7 spades. And I watch one table whose plan, well, let's have a look. We got the lead of a trump because that's a fairly routine lead against a grand slam in a suit. It was a gift, you misplayed it. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know whether if you play it properly, it doesn't matter what the opposition do, they can't stop you making it. But I suspect that most of you will have tackled and tried to make 2 club ruffs. 2 club ruffs and throw 2 clubs away on the ace king of hearts, and then you've got 13 tricks. Yes, you have, except that to do that, you're going to have to hope the diamonds don't break 4-1. You can't ruff 2 clubs. You don't have the communication to ruff 2 clubs and still cash 2 diamonds unless you draw the trumps. If you draw the trumps, then you can't ruff 2 clubs. And if you ruff 2 clubs, then you need the diamonds to be 3-2. You can't make it by trying to ruff the clubs. I imagine that those that went off tried to make it by ruffing 2 clubs. And it looks like a fairly obvious thing to do. And as long as the diamonds behave, then go home and dry. But they don't behave, as you can see. But do we have an alternative? Well, we've got 6 spade tricks, and 1 club trick is 7, and 2 diamonds is 9, and 2 hearts is 11. So we need to set up some more tricks. 2 club ruffs in dummy would give us 13, but let's see what happens if we try to ruff 2 clubs in dummy. Let's see what happens. We don't need to keep. Well, we will keep the 6. It won't hurt. So let's. We can't draw another trump as yet. Well, we can cash the ace king of hearts, throw 2 clubs away, and then we can ruff a heart to get back to dummy, to get back to hand rather. Now we'll ruff the other club. But now you can see what's going to happen. We've got to try and cash 2 diamonds, and North will ruff the second one. So that's not going to work. If we do that, we go 1 down. I'm going to put the board back up to the table. And we'll just bid 7 spades again. So we need a different approach, one that doesn't require the diamonds to be 3-2. And once we come to that conclusion, we can Yes, exactly right, Annabelle. We can set up the diamonds, not rough the clubs. We set up the diamonds and we get to them. So we get the spade lead just the same. Okay, we've preserved our 6 of spades just in case we need it, but I don't think we will. Now we're going to cross the dummy with a diamond. Note that the 8 of spades is an entry as long as we've got one lower, which is why we've got the 6. Now we're going to throw diamond on the ace of hearts. And now we're going to rough a diamond high. It can't be over roughed. Throw a heart. Cross the dummy to the 8 of spades. And rough another diamond high. Now back to the king of spades. That's the last trump drawn. And we have 3 diamond tricks. There's one club gone. There's another club gone. Oh, I'm going to undo that. Let's now throw a heart instead of a club, of course. Otherwise, we've got too many tricks. And king of hearts. There's our last club gone. And we have 2 winners left. There we go. Well done, Annabelle. Yeah, it's a sort of dummy reversal, but not really. You know, we're not using the trumps to draw, the dummies trumps to draw. We're using the diamond suit. We're trying to set up diamond winners on which we can discard our clubs. And this time we only needed the defence to follow to 1 diamond. Didn't matter about the clubs. We did need that 1 heart to follow, but that was all. So as long as the diamonds weren't 5-0 and the hearts weren't 11-0, whatever it is, 9-0, 10-0, then this contract was cold, provided we paid it like that. Ditch a diamond on a heart and then rough diamonds high and use dummies trumps. We needed to keep the 6 of trumps to get to the 8. We needed that extra entry. Okay, that's board 8. Any more comments or questions on board 8? You're very welcome, Makika, and you, Florette. Alan will be with you next week. I'm actually on holiday next week, so but I might join you if I get the chance. I'll take my laptop with me. But I'm going for a week's golfing holiday if the weather's reasonable.